Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the February edition of the AnCan Art Friends. And we have a great class for you tonight. Hannah, I'd love for you to come up and explain to us what we are making. But first of all, I'd like to take a moment with both of us to tell our art friends in this season of love how much we love them and how much we appreciate them and how much we love what we do and just how much we love to serve them. So why don't we brag and love on our art friends a little bit?
You're right, Alexa. We love you guys. Truly though, like it doesn't matter how crazy my day is. I get here to class and immediately I'm cheered up. So thank you guys. We love you guys and we are so happy that you're here. Yay! So I guess we can get started. Do we get started, Alexa? Let's do this.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So we have here an oil pastel drawing. I guess you could call it a drawing. And spring is in the air, at least for me in South Texas. I don't know how it is for you guys. I know sometimes there's blizzards somewhere out there. So hopefully this gets you ready for springtime. But we're going to be using those oil pastels to sort of blend in some of those colors and create all of this these floral flowers, these flowers. So I'm actually going to be using oil pastels. However, if you only have crayons or you only want to use crayons, that's fine too. The difference between the two is that oil pastels tend to be a little bit thicker, a little bit bigger, and they're more blendable. Like they're not as hard or tough as the crayons are. And with crayons, you can kind of blend them, but you just have to work a little extra hard. So, but you can do it. The oil pastels make it look a little bit more soft. So I also have a pencil, so preferably with an eraser because in the beginning we're going to be tracing out our branches first. So I'm going to keep that aside. And then I also have just something to cover my workspace. It's not totally necessary, like you don't have to, but in case you don't want to get oil pastel on your background, that's okay. My paper is it's a smaller paper, so it's actually my 9.5 inch by 12 inch mixed media paper, but cut in half or but folded and cut in half so that it's much smaller. And I do recommend just working smaller in general, just because it kind of takes a while to get all of that blending in. So it's very repetitive motion. So I recommend working smaller. I think that's it. Did I say everything? Yeah, I think I said everything. Okay. Do you guys have questions? Please bring it at me. Throw your questions at me. I'm here, okay? And if I happen to go too fast, let me know too, okay? Slow me down. I tend to do that sometimes. But yeah, I think we're ready to go. I'm actually gonna set this up here so you guys can see it. Hopefully that's all right. All right, very first thing is my pencil. And whenever I use my pencil, I'm only going to be pressing down lightly. So I do recommend that because um, the crayon or the oil pastel, whichever one you're using, once it goes over and crosses on top of that line, the graphite, it's going to be permanent. So, and you'll just have to work a little extra hard to cover it up. But if it's a light color you put it on top of, you'll be able to see it. So press down lightly. And I'm even going to erase a little bit of it later. So as you can see, I've got 4 branches right here with a few little poofs of flowers sticking up on the sides here. But you do not have to put them in those specific spots, okay? Definitely don't have to. You can do as many as you want, as few as you want. And all I'm going to do is create the bare bones, like basically like the skeleton of the branch. It's just going to be the pathway. So I'm going to have this one, stretch it out. Maybe I'll make a couple of branches that stick out like that. That's my first one. That's my main one. Maybe I'll have it over here. Now I'm pressing down just a little bit harder, but just because I want you guys to see it. That's why I want you guys to be able to see it, but I am gonna be erasing some of it and making it lighter in a little bit. So I have one coming from here, but honestly, I'm gonna change it up a little bit. And I kind of want this branch to come down here. So I'm changing it up a bit, but in the original, it comes down, it comes from here. So you guys know how much of a fan I am of mixing things up, making things a little more interesting. And I also highly encourage you guys to use your own creativity. So customize it as however you want. Customize it, use whatever colors you want. If you don't want pink flowers, that's okay. You don't have to do pink flowers. Do whatever color makes you happy. You can do a combination of colors. That would be really nice too. Make a different sky, whatever you want. Do you guys have questions? Please throw them at me, please. Cool. You guys are rock stars, all right? So you guys continue to draw your branches. I'm going to keep it simple personally because we have a bunch of flowers and all of these flowers are going to be taking up a lot of space. So I'm not going to add any more branches than that. And honestly, I can always add more later. So you don't have to have it set in stone right now. I'm going to take my eraser and erase some of it. I still want it to be there as an entire line, but I want to lighten it because I really don't want it to show up underneath the oil pastel. Lighten it up just as much as you can. I mean, we still want to be able to see it underneath everything. So I'm just gonna erase it all. Oh, I hear my kitty cat crying for me. She wants to come into the room. She normally is in the room whenever we do these classes, but
Wants your flowers.
yeah, probably. She's been messing with my flowers. Don't want her to do anything. I need another eraser, a big one. There it is. Sometimes I like to bring out the big eraser because it helps me to go faster. And again, I still want to see everything. Is anyone going to do any different colors? Any different color flowers? Now, this picture is going to use a lot of white. So, and honestly, I go through white oil pastel quite a lot. It's a blender, and that's why I go through it all the time. It blends everything together. And so, as you can see in the original picture, the entire background is all blended together. All of the flowers, those are all blended together. So we are going to be using it quite a lot. So if you don't have enough of the white or any at all, then you can actually use a napkin or even a Q-tip to start blending them together. You'll have, and I'll show you how it's done in a little bit, but it won't look quite as smooth, but it will still look really nice though, as blending it together. And I'll show you what it looks like in a bit. But I just wanted to throw that out because we will use a lot of that white. All right, now I think I'm gonna erase this just a little bit more. I really am gonna try to make it as light as possible because even this amount will show through. So just might have to get a little bit creative about covering it up. Now, I want to show you how this works. The very first thing we're going to do is we're going to take our pink, so the light pink, and we're going to move along the branches and start to create them. So we're going to move in circular motions and just form them. We're going to shape them. And they can be as poofy as you want. It doesn't really matter. But the way cherry blossom flowers grow is that they usually grow along the branch. So they move along with the shape of the branch. So it makes for a really interesting way to work when you're trying to draw the cherry blossoms. So that means that the only thing we're going to do for now is going to be the pink. If you're doing another color, then do the lighter version of your color. So I don't know if you're using doing like an orange or something, do a light orange or even a yellow if you're doing that color. But I'm going to use pink. So I've got it right here. And I guess I'll bring out the dark pink later. So I know that it's kind of hard to see all of those really thin lines, but I'm going to do my best here. Okay, got my pink. And I'll just start, maybe start on the edge. Maybe start over here. I'm not going to press down too hard. I'm going to go along the edge and start following the line that I've already established. Now, we still want a little bit of that branch to stick through, to show through. As you can see, there's some little spots that I skipped, like there's no flowers over there. So that's actually an artistic decision that I made. I purposefully wanted to see some of this. So I am maybe leaving some spots and just kind of allowing the branch to peek through. And the nice thing about cherry blossom is that, yes, some of them can just go straight across the branches, but a lot of times you'll get moments where it's more fluffy. So as you're creating these things, as you're taking a look at your branches, you can go back and decide which ones you want to be a little more fluffy. So I don't know, maybe I'll make this a little more fluffy. I'll just kind of leave it. I have these little areas where I see the branch right there. So I'll let that be. And this is what you'll want to do for each of your branches. So take a look at it as a whole, at the branch as a whole. Now I'm gonna maybe jump down here and maybe start on this end. I'll start off by going along the branch, and then a little bit I'll make it more fluffy. I want that little bit of branch to show through. Honestly, I kind of want more. I'm actually making an artistic decision to add a little bit of fluff up here, like a little bit of flower right there. Felt like it needs something there, so I just threw that in there. And you can do that anywhere you want. Anywhere you feel like it needs more flowers, go ahead and throw it in there. Customize your piece. I have a branch right there, so I'm gonna build upon that. I probably should have started at the end there. Still leaving some spaces for my branch to show through. Maybe I'll make it a little bit thicker on this end. Please throw me your questions if you have any. Oh yeah, I have one up here. I have a nice one over here. You can see little areas where my branch peeks through just right there. And if you feel like you've covered up a little bit too much of your branch, that's actually okay too, because you can actually just like squeeze it into little areas. Trying to find if I did that anywhere. On my practice piece, I did. Yeah, but that's okay. I'll show you how to do that later. If you're using crayon, then this would be the same thing, really. The only thing is that your white crayon is not really gonna blend it as smoothly. So just kind of work with it and be patient. I feel like I want to add more up here. Well, I'll attach a branch to it later. Yeah. And honestly, even after the next step, if you want to add more flowers, you can certainly do that. This picture, it really only contains maybe like three different types of techniques, and that's it. Three different types of movements, and that's it. So whenever we go over it with the white, again, we're going to go in circular motions, and that's going to blend all of these lines together. So actually, you can start whenever you want. So I'll show you how that's done. So I've got my white oil pastel here, but I can see that I use it quite frequently. So if yours is dirty at the end of it, then you could actually take a napkin and wipe it. Where's my napkin? I literally just saw it. Always happens. Weird. But yeah, you just kind of wipe the edge of it or the end of it, and that's it. Take off some of that extra color. And even then, like sometimes you find some surprise color peeking through. So start anywhere you want. We're going to make those same motions, except press down harder. We are now just kind of blending everything together. Same motions, I'm just pressing down harder. I find it very relaxing. I like this kind of thing. And as you can see, like if you were to move outside of this area, you can actually make your little areas a little bit bigger. See how it drags the color outward? Now for me, I'm seeing a little bit of my line peeking through. This is my branch line. So at any point you can go over, go back to your pink, and go right on top of these things. Helps to give it a little bit more depth. And that's how we disguise these things. So I'll repeat that a little bit later. I want to get going with these. Put some of that oil pastel on top. Oh man, I didn't wipe this end. I wiped this end, but not that one. Oh, that's okay. I can just cover it up. You can definitely see my line right there. So I'm gonna have to go over it with my pink again. And that is okay. Deborah asked what kind of oil pastels do you use? These are just regular oil pastels. They're pretty cheap. They're pretty cheap. I think this is actually premium oil pastels, and those are $25. So you can get them for as low as like $10 or $6, depending on you. But yeah, I just found them on Amazon and just regular oil pastels. There is a difference between the two types of pastels, though, if that's what you mean. If they don't say oil pastel, then they're most likely chalk pastel, and they don't tell you that. If it's oil, then it's definitely going to be oil. But if it doesn't say oil, then it's going to be more chalky. Um, ooh, You should try. Yeah, for sure. Definitely try it. And honestly, so far I haven't found too much of a difference between the $25 one that I'm using and the $10 one. And I'm pretty sure it costs less than that actually. So I don't see a huge difference, except for like the size of the oil pastels themselves. Like these are bigger than the ones that I had gotten, but that's about it. Ooh, as promised, I do want to show you what it looks like if you don't have any white to blend it. Finally found my napkin so I can show you. So if you are having to blend without a white piece, use your napkin and sort of wrap your finger inside and blend this way, like that. I'll make another little poof here if I can show you. So I'm going to take it and swirl it just the same way I would if I wasn't using the white. The biggest difference is that whenever you add the napkin on top of the oil pastel, it takes some of it away. So it tends to be a little less creamy, I guess. But the effect is very similar though. You can always use this as an option, or even some Q-tips too, or cotton swabs. Okay. Now I want to go back in here because for me, I am done adding my initial little bit of white on top of that. So I'm going to go back to my pink and just sort of start to disguise some of these lines, the graphite lines that I'm seeing. In doing so, you end up giving your little flower areas some depth, so they're not so one-dimensional. You can always go over it again with some more white if you feel like you need to blend it back in. So let's say maybe, oh no, I went overboard, added a lot. Well, you can always go right back into the white and push it back. In a moment or two, I'm going to do the same thing, but actually with my darker pink this time. First, I want to do the initial phase of pushing this, of adding more depth to it, but then I'll add a little bit of that darker pink, and that'll really push it. Maybe I'll leave that alone. These two spots will be my non-white spots. There we go. No need to use the napkin on these. All right, how are we doing? We doing all right? Yeah, it's very much the same type of motions. Just wait till we do the background. Again, it's also a very repetitive motion for that too. But while you guys are working on that, I would love to ask, has anyone done anything creative this week? You guys know I'm gonna ask you. If you have, we would love to spotlight you. That way we can, just see your work, see what you've done. Take your time.
I'd like to share that I just did this tie-dye shirt that I'm wearing this morning.
Ooh, that's really cool.
And it was my first time trying that myself.
Nice.
Started
That
out
is
as an
super
accident.
cool.
Awesome.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah,
It's
that's
not.
fun. That sounds really fun.
Oh, don't get the past. Oh, you're fine.
Don't get the what?
Getting on the
Ooh.
past. Yeah, turn the.
JP, what is that?
Oh, this is
JP?
Laurel.
Oh, Whoa, yeah.
She's using my camera.
Needle felting.
Okay.
Might have the-
Oh.
So it's
It's wool,
Oh,
and it's needle felting where you go in with the narrow
that's
gauge needle,
right.
but it's
and
like
then
painting.
Yeah.
it like
but with
embeds
felt.
into the.
Oh,
It's
that's
pretty
so
cool.
Super
cool.
cool.
It's just something
I've
new I'm trying. It's relaxing.
yeah,
If
I've
she
never
has a
done
needle,
that
she can
before.
stab me with them if I'm bad.
I've seen them. Yeah, they're terrifying.
They are very scary.
Yeah, oh man, but that looks beautiful though. It really looks gorgeous.
Excited.
Show her
I
the other one.
know.
Hmm.
That's great
He doesn't
though.
want to tell you the
It's okay. I'll come back to you. Maybe you'll change your mind later. I want to add a little bit of that other pink, so that darker pink now. And here you go. We're just going to add a little bit of extra depth to it. I don't remember. Oh, here it is. Pretty sure it was this one. I actually have two pinks, and I don't remember which one it is. I think it's this one. So I'm going to add just some specks. So specks of this color. See how I'm just kind of tapping it like that? But these look very much like specks, and I would love to blend them in a bit. So what I'm going to do is go back to my white now and swirl it around, and in turn, that's going to mix it even more. Now, if you're using a crayon, not going to have too much mixing, so see if you can make like maybe like random little scribbles here and there if you're using a crayon. But if you got something to blend it, then you can do the little swirls. So I'm just swirling it around, getting rid of the specks. Now later, much later, we'll go back in and add some more. But we're just making the more subtle version. Like we're just trying to give it more depth. So go back in, make specks. This part kind of drives me crazy though. I don't know, something about dotting. I don't know if you guys have ever tried pointillism projects where you take like a marker or something like that and you just dot, and you create a picture that way. Well, I hate the process, but I love the result. So the result is worth it, in my opinion. And you don't have to do a ton of these little specks either. In with my white now. Move it all out. This is also a good opportunity to cover up even more of my line. Leave that right there. All I'm doing is pushing it back, integrating this color with everything else. Now, if you're using the napkin method, I don't think I need to go over it that much. Same motion. There we go. Now at this point, we're moving around and we're touching our pieces of paper everywhere. So just watch out because we might get some fingerprints on it. So it's not a big deal right now because we have a lot of other colors to cover it with. But just for the future, just watch out for fingerprints. That's all. Here's the picture again, just in case you need to see it. I think we'll be able to move on into the sky after this. The sky, I think, was the most fun for me personally. You have these little areas in here that are a little bit softer, especially closer to the flowers here. But then out here becomes a lot more dramatic. I have a darker blue out here. So I'm going to show you what colors I used. I'm going to go over here and grab, whoops, I have a light blue, I have a dark blue, and a teal. There it is. Got my teal. Now, if you would much rather use, say, I don't know, golden colors, maybe you're looking at a golden hour type of feel, then yeah, bring out your yellows, bring out your gold colors, anything that maybe reminds you of a sunset, if you'd rather use those colors. In my head, I was thinking midday. There's just a lot of blue in the sky. So yeah, midday. So that's what I've got going on. But again, use whatever colors make you happy, you know. Ooh, purple might be kind of cool. That'd be kind of pretty. Let's see. To the original. All right. So I'm going to start off with my lightest color. So that's going to be the blue. And I'm going to start by putting little scribbles in, just kind of weaving it through these little spaces. Anywhere I have a large amount of space, I'm just going to put these little scribbles here. And I'm not going to press down too hard just because I still want it to be light. And the more I press down, the more color is going to be transferred onto the paper. So that may or may not work out if you're trying to keep it light and airy. Notice how I've got a gap, I've got some space in between my flowers for the most part. Also got a little bit of space in between my branches. And you don't have to connect them all. Like I'm actually just going to jump around and maybe put little patches here and there. The nice thing is that you can always add more. So even after we've added the other colors to the sky, even after we've added the white on top of it, you can always add more. You can't really take it away though. So at least in the beginning, I'm going to go kind of conservatively. Put some in here. Maybe I'll squeeze some in here. These are kind of close to each other, but I still want to give the impression that there's sky back there. Now, if you're using crayon, then I would, maybe you can still do the same kind of patches, but press down lightly and then build from there. Go. You can actually switch to your teal at any point. The dark blue, we'll add that later. So teal at any point, and put it here. I really love like wherever the teal just kind of has its own moments and it stands out on its own. So I want to have some moments like that. Maybe squeeze it in over here. And I feel like I'm having to just kind of check in with myself just to see if I can still see my lines for my branches. And I can still see mine, so you know, just kind of check in with yourself and make sure they're not buried too much. There we go. And all my scribbles here. Almost ready to put the dark blue in there. So I'll do that in a bit. And I am going to be pretty conservative with the dark blue, at least right now. Because again, you can't really, like, you can put more on it later, but you can't really take any out. So even whenever we put the white on top of everything, you can still add that color. Even another color. If you want to add purple in there, that might look pretty nice. Now I think I'm going to go ahead and add the dark blue, mostly to the corners, at least for now, to the corners for now, and then I'll add more later. It's really going to push the sky into the background. And again, I'm still pressing down lightly, not really pressing down too hard. I don't have much space up here, so I'm gonna avoid that one for now. Now, don't forget, since we're using blue now, we're not using pink anymore. Go ahead and take your napkin and just kind of wipe off the end of your oil pastel. Gonna do that for both sides, actually. I have some green. And it doesn't have to be too thorough. Okay. So now I can start anywhere. So it does not matter where. So I may as well start here. And I'm gonna move my oil pastel in the opposite direction of my patches, of my scribbles. You see how the white is dragging that color around and making the area a little bit bigger? That's what we're looking for. See that? Sort of moving in the opposite directions. And I can already tell I'm gonna have to add more color to this area, but that's okay, this is a good start. And I would definitely go really close, if not like overlapping your flower patches, just because it's good to have that little bit of cushion there, that little bit of white, just in case you do need to add more. And oh yeah, I definitely need to add some blue right here. And even if you got really close to a patch like right here, it's only going to look even more beautiful. We like variation. We like these little moments where it doesn't quite look the same. And that's how the entire sky is going to go. Very repetitive motion. So be sure to take a break if you need to take a break. Kind of stretch out your hands a little bit, whatever makes you comfortable. I am going to get really close to my branch line. I don't know if you guys can see that right there, but I'm going to get really close to it. Whenever we go over it with brown, it's okay. Like the brown will glide right on top of the white. In the sky, it's really nice to have like these moments where you can tell that the brush strokes were all over the place, like facing all sorts of directions and overlapping each other. Like it kind of looks almost scratchy in a way, but the brush strokes, I say brush strokes, the marks that we're making are all over the place. Oops. Any questions from you guys? This part is mostly work at your own pace kind of thing. So keep on going. I'm just going to keep on moving my hand around like that. definitely taking advantage of the fact that my white drags the color around, so I can get pretty close to the little flower bunches. I can get pretty close to the flower bunches without having too much oil pastel, like without having it be too dark. Oops, got some white on there, or some black on there. How did that happen? Now I am intentionally going over this little gap between the sky and the flower patches. I do that because I want all of this to sort of blend together. So this right here, for example, I am going right on top of both of these areas. I want them to morph together. Even down here, this little spot. I'm gonna go over this. And as long as you press down pretty lightly, you should be good. And this dark blue, I think, I love this part. This is one of my favorite parts. Because the dark blue really shows through. I do want to open the floor again in case you guys have anything else to show off. Any other artworks? Have you guys done anything fun this week? Anything interesting? Anything new this week?
Not for me, but my daughter had her art show tonight at school, so that was exciting.
Ooh, that's really cool. Did she enter any pieces?
Yeah, she had it's the last show of the year. So I don't know if you can see that's her next to
cool.
her. It's like a canvas. Oh wait, where is it? Here, let me see if I
That
can
is a
get it so it
big
shows.
canvas.
And
Wow.
then it's like loose canvas though, and then you can't really see. I wonder if I can. But the top is like stained glass that she painted, so that
Wow.
she attached to the canvas.
Oh my God.
So
How cool is that? How long does that take her?
I don't know. Oh, here, maybe this is a better picture of the, so it's a better picture of the stained glass that she
Oh, yeah, we
did.
can see it.
Wow. Yeah, that's gorgeous. She made that?
Way
Yeah, it was
cool.
really cool too because it was the first thing that like you can kind of see here. Like it was in the sunlight when you walk in. So like it was just
Oh
really
man.
cool. But
Very
then
cool effect.
she also did this. So
Oh,
How
that's so
amazing.
that's all out of fabric that she made that. I know it's
okay.
kind of hard to
I
see.
was, yeah, I was wondering.
She likes
Man, that's
doing
pretty
things with
cool.
fabric also. So
Multidisciplinary, huh?
yeah,
Oh,
so I
cool.
think that was it. And she produced the gallery show this year, so she was in charge of setting up for the whole class and getting all
Nice.
the. So she had her proud moment tonight.
I
Well,
know, like
we're
that's
very proud of her. We're very
that's
proud.
that's great experience for her too.
Yeah,
Good for
she wants to
her.
go into I think museum science. So
Oh my
um,
gosh, that's so exciting.
I know. So she's looking.
Oh no, Barbara, you're muted somehow.
She's a senior, so we've already gotten two of her college application replies back with acceptances. Where I don't think those are the ones that she really wants to go to, though. So we're waiting on all the East Coast ones.
Yeah, oh my God.
Fingers crossed. They're taking
Yeah,
the first two came in like almost immediately. And so we're like, oh wow, this is great. And then now we're like sitting on pins and needles waiting for the rest to come in.
yeah, the ones that you really want, those are the ones that make you wait, huh? That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope she gets it. I really hope she gets it because it's really cool that she knows exactly what she wants to get into.
Yep, she also is interested in sociology, so I think that will go well with museum curation too, knowing
Yeah,
different regions of the world and how migrations impacted art and all that kind of fun stuff. So
yeah, yeah. That's really exciting. Well, congrats to her.
thanks.
Yeah. Would anyone else like to share what's going on?
Hannah, I could share.
Yeah. You, Anna Marie. There you are. I see you. Oh, there you go. Alexa, gotcha. Ooh.
This is something that I did with this sketchbook squad thing that I do every day. There's a different drawing, and last week was all about the Year of the Dragon.
Ooh, that's so cool.
Super
So you,
cool.
yeah, seriously. Um,
Thanks. And I've been
I
trying to
love
work in magic marker because I'm not very good at that.
I love the
magic marker.
lanterns. That's my favorite
What is
part.
magic marker?
Markers.
Oh, marker, okay. Yeah, that's so cool. I think the lanterns are my favorite part too. Like the lanterns, but there's also the detail in the scales, like the dragon scales too.
Yeah, there was a lot going on in there. And
Oh,
actually the lanterns, they give you we get like different images and you're supposed to do your own interpretation of them. So
ah, yeah.
one day it was lanterns and then another day it was this big dragon. So I combined the two.
Okay, so you there you go. Okay, so you're combining these different elements together.
Yeah.
Yep, yep, that's great. That's a
Thank
really great exercise if you want to like take your art to the next level. That's what you do.
Yeah, it was fun.
Man, yeah, that looks good. Thanks, thanks for sharing.
Thank you.
Yeah,
You
man,
got
that's really
creative
cool.
people, Hannah.
I know. I
Got great creative
know.
people.
Seriously. A lot of creativity around here. Just have to say though, we brag about you guys all the time. I brag about you guys all
All
the
the
time.
time.
We really do. Yeah, so very repetitive part. Okay, so have some patience with yourself. I'm mostly telling myself that. I know for sure some of these areas I want to push and pull, kind of like back here. Like we've added a dark area so that really sets it apart. Well, I might want to add maybe like one or two spots closer to the middle just to push and pull that area. But I'll do that once I get everything else colored in. And again, I'm still making sure to go over the edges of my little fluffy flower parts here. That way I can really integrate them. But this is one of the things that I love about oil pastels, that you can get so much amazing texture. Like there's so much you can do with repetitive motions. Almost done though. Almost there. So weird, but I'm getting like random colors like purple just appearing, just showing up in my picture. And I have no idea where they're coming from. So weird. Ooh, I know what I'm going to do that's kind of creative. I want to so we have like a white shelf and I want to paint it a color. I don't know what color I want to paint it yet. But it's bright white. So I want to like tone it down a little bit, but put like some sort of darker color on it. And I'm trying to decide if I want to paint some sort of design on top of it. And if so, what kind of design do I want to paint? So that's just something that's been in my head the last 24 hours. There we go. So now for myself, I'm looking at my picture as a whole. Okay, so you can do this at any point too, okay? So I've already gone over everything, it looks like. So now I can pick and choose which areas to add more color to. And I say that because I can see a pattern here. So it sort of looks like I've avoided these areas around my pink patches. And yeah, for the most part I did. So I want to sort of push it back a little bit and just sort of make it a little bit, like give it some variation so that it doesn't look so avoided. So I'm gonna pick some spots, maybe in here. I'm gonna get really close to my patches. And that's how it's gonna be. We're just gonna put some extra color on these spots. And it doesn't have to be everywhere, just pick and choose some spots. So I've reapplied my two light colors, so my light blue and my teals, and all I need to do is go over it again. Go over it and just kind of getting really close to the pink spot. I can even push it even further too, right back on top of it. Make it even darker. There we go. I'm really happy with this spot right here. I don't know about you, but this kind of looks like a brain to me. Just me. Like kind of the shape of a brain. Oh, that was random. But I'm thinking about the month of March, MS Awareness Month. But it looks like a brain to me.
Hannah, can I interrupt for a second?
Yeah, go for it.
The pink, like the flowers, I had to step off for a phone call. Did you go
Mhm.
over those in white also?
Yeah, I did actually.
Okay, at the beginning.
Yeah, I did that in the beginning, and you can do that now too. But
Okay.
all I did was do like round motions like that.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, good question. I decided to add more of this dark blue up here, just because I really want to I want to push it some more, and I want to maybe add some of this up here too, because it looks a little bit unbalanced to me. But again, I'm still going to be pretty conservative with it because can't really take it away once it's there. I can always add more. There we go. Not too bad. Maybe I'll add one more teal right up here. Maybe I'll just choose somewhere in the middle here to add more color to. Get real close to some of these areas. Because again, I don't want to make it look like I was completely avoiding these spots. It'll be fun trying to go back in there and look for the branches. There There we go. Maybe I'll add a little bit more there. I love that some of this created some purple. It's very light and subtle, but the pink plus the blue created that purple. So I'm gonna do one more spot. Oops. There we go. I think I'm a lot more happy with it. Don't forget to always look at your picture as a whole. There we go. So I'll give you guys another 2-3 more minutes. And you don't have to be finished with the background though. Like, don't feel like you need to totally finish it right now. You can always revisit it later. Like, we're not really gonna do anything else with the background, so you can always come back to it. Speaking of which, I'm gonna add more right here. Okay, there we go. Now this is the point where I feel like I have a little bit too much oil pastel on my hand. So if I had like a little baby wipe, that would be really helpful. Or a little bit of water, you know? Now the next thing we can do after this part is the branches. Finally, we can anchor these things. They're not just these floating clouds everywhere. We can anchor them. So while you guys are finishing it up and doing those finishing touches, I'll go ahead and pull out my colors. So here's the original. And of course I have my regular brown. So it's some sort of dark brown. So this one right here, dark chocolatey brown. And then I think I also threw in a splash of like a lighter brown, or you can use like a brick brown if you have that, just something that's a little different. So 2 types of browns there. And then I also threw in purple. I happen to love putting purple in a lot of my trees just because I feel like these like the brown and the purple, they go so well with each other. So that's what I like to do just to give it a little bit more depth. But you can always add some blue in there if you want to get crazy. You can add like a dark blue. You can add black too if you really want to push and pull these textures. So I'm not going to do black, but I'll stick with the purple. But just to throw some ideas. We are going to start off with our dark chocolatey brown. That other brown, the lighter brown that I mentioned, we're just going to throw it in there just to give it a little bit of an extra flair. But for the most part, this is going to be our main color.
That sounds tasty, Hannah.
It does, doesn't it?
It just does, with it being Valentine's time and all.
I have been eating chocolate covered strawberries lately. Have you guys, anybody else?
I just had one of those a few minutes ago.
Did you? Sounds so good.
I bought some this morning at local farmers market. My husband and I each just had.
Oh,
You know
that's
what?
so
I'm
nice
just
though.
saying, like, you don't need a boo thing to get the discounted candy on the day after sales and the day after sales. That's all I'm saying.
Yes,
Absolutely.
We can all take
yes.
advantage of those sales.
I regret not going to the store today. I should have gone to the store. I'm just adding a little extra blue down here. felt like it needed it. And then we'll do the branches. Okay. Now I'm going to start off with the most obvious branches. So to me, I can see this pretty well right here. And I know that I'd given it a little elbow, so it kind of bends up here and moves out here. So start out conservatively again. So kind of little by little building it up. I know for branches, the further out they go away from the tree trunk, the thinner they're going to get. So that's why this portion of the branch up here is probably going to be my thickest area. And that's also why I'm going to just kind of work small, just little by little, building it up as you go. I've got that elbow there. I actually see a little bit of my my line, my graphite line here. I don't know how well you guys can see it, but because I can see it, I'm still gonna overlap just a little bit, just to give the impression of, you know, maybe the flowers wrap around the branch a little bit. That's always what goes in my head. I always like to think of a scenario, think of what's going on specifically with what I'm drawing. So maybe the tree, maybe the flowers are just kind of wrapping around the branch. And then I know it moves in here, so I'm gonna squeeze it in there. And then what else did I do? Oh, that's right. I think I stretched it out. So got a little here. I think this is probably my favorite part. I get to really shape it. We really get to ground everything. Let's see, I might put a little extra fluff in here. I don't know yet. I do know that I had one swooping down from here. I'm gonna squeeze that in there, and maybe, you know, just because I can, it might be more interesting if I have a little bit of it sticking out. I'm adding this last minute because I feel like I needed something here. Just decided to add that. So let's see, I got those. Jump down here. And again, this part is going to be the thickest part of this branch. I'm going to taper it down the elbow. And then I'll jump over here. And then we have more branch coming this way. There we go. So I'm going to make them a little different. Kind of look like there's 3 fingers here. Like almost like the fingers are trying to, you know, touch. Maybe I'll squeeze another one in here. And then I'll be done with it. I'm just adding random little twigs here and there because I just having so much fun with them. Okay. Now we will go back and we'll add a little bit more of those dark pink little swipes in there. We'll do that in a little bit. I'm trying to remember how I smoothed out this color. So I'm going to do a little test on mine, just to see if I remember. Oh, there it is. Yep. So we're going to use the light brown to smooth everything out here. That is indeed what I used. I go right on top of that branch with the light brown. Follow along those pathways you created. We're just sort of blending everything together, making it more smooth. And then after this, we'll add the purple, and we'll give it some accents. And you don't have to go over every single twig and branch that you've created. So just if it looks like it needs a little bit of smoothing and blending, then you can add it. But I wouldn't worry about it too much. That one could definitely use some blending. But that's about it. Y'all doing okay? Can't wait to see what they look like, especially if you guys have done other colors. Can't wait for the big reveal. Okay, so the last thing I did was I went over it with the lighter color brown, smoothed out these areas, and now I can go over it with just a few marks of purple. So it's very subtle. I don't even know how well you guys can see it. But honestly, add as much of the purple as you want. Even if you don't want any, it's okay. You don't add any. So I'm gonna go over it, and it's just going to help to bring out some of that brown. I'm putting these in swipes. Go. I think I'm happy with that. Not every twig and branch needed that purple. And in a moment, I am going to take my white pastel and I'm going to start to smooth over the edges. Because smoothing those edges just briefly, it doesn't take a whole lot, but it'll help to integrate it into the background. Help to give it the same kind of feel. I'll do that in a minute. Oh, Deborah, I just saw your message that you just placed your order for $5.79. That is amazing. Okay, good. I'm glad you got a good deal. Yeah, they don't have to be a big thing. Okay, so I have my white pastel now. And I'll just sort of go along the edges, kind of like what you see here. It's not a whole lot, and honestly, I didn't really pay too much attention to it. Just kind of swipe along the edge and go. So, whoops. Start over here and just go. Just helps to smooth out that edge. I'm mostly just picking the most prominent branches. Maybe if they kind of stand out. And then I'll just put a little bit of white on top, but otherwise they don't all need them. There we go. Now, honestly, I think we only have 2 more steps after this. Yeah. It's to reintroduce that dark pink. So we're going to add them as kind of specks, but they're not really going to be dots. I'm going to be kind of swiping them a little bit. And the same thing with the leaves. I feel like the leaves really, really brought out the color. It really put everything into place, for me at least. So that green was actually a bright green. So for me, my lightest one. So this one right here. So I'll just kind of set that aside. The green will be the last thing we do. But yeah, I'm gonna take my pink again. And these are really more like dashes than dots, as you can see. I pressed down pretty hard with those. So it really just kind of separates the flowers. Gives them a bit of a personality. Like that. And I'm going to try to be pretty random with my marks. I mean, we're humans, right? It's in our nature to want to create patterns, and it's in our nature to see patterns. I'm going to try to mix it up and make it a bit more random. See, I can already see myself. I tend to like make them in the same, like with the same amount of space in between. And honestly, if there are certain spots where you feel like maybe you need a little bit more of the dark pink, you can always add that dark pink on top. I'm sorry, the light pink. You can add the light pink on top. Right there. Doesn't need to be a big thing, just add some of it here and there. For me, I feel like my marks are at their best whenever I go fast. So I do recommend doing that just because you may surprise yourself. If I go more slowly, then that's when the patterns appear. So try to go a little more fast. There we go. I'm good with that. I think I just need to add a little bit more light pink in this spot. And you can do that too. If you feel like you need to maybe stretch out your cherry blossom areas, you can do that. You can still modify them. I feel like I missed a little spot with my brown. An opportunity to add some red there. There we go. Now, last thing is the greenery. I feel like that greenery, again, it really brought out a lot of the pinks. See that? I drew them in there as if they were growing out of the branch, sort of reaching out from the branch. So pick some spots and put a couple of leaves there. Even if it's only like 2 or 3 little little leaves, it'll do a lot. Some of them are sticking out of the pink areas, but the majority of them are sticking out from the branches. I've even squeezed them into like small areas. But again, you've got some random ones that sort of stick out from the cherry blossoms. My tree is just so happy to grow. She's happy to be alive. Doesn't need anything else. I'll add a little bit there. But I think I'm good. I'll go ahead and open the floor now to anyone who wants to share. If you're still working on yours, that's okay too, but we
Woohoo.
want to see your work. Yeah,
We love to open the floor.
yay, exciting. I don't know about you guys, but I'm seeing different things in my shapes. Like this has become like a boot, like a boot with a really high heel. I don't know if y'all can see that or
Hannah,
not.
I see a side profile of a gummy bear.
Yeah, I can. Yeah, is this the leg right there?
That's the leg, yes.
That's the leg. Okay, I see it.
Oh, I thought it was a jaw and then there's an eyeball.
I can
Oh,
see that too.
yeah, I
Huh?
can see that.
Okay, we have the McGinleys.
Yes.
Here we go. Oh
Ooh,
my goodness.
there it is.
That's Laurel's.
Oh
Laurel's is
man,
this one. This is mine.
I love it.
I wasn't into. I don't know.
He's in a funk.
I'm in a funk.
You're in a funk. Well,
And
I do. Go ahead.
nothing.
I do have to say I love the top part where the orange meets the purple. I think that's one of my favorite parts.
Cool.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Bye guys, have a good week. Happy
Yeah,
Val-
thank you.
And go to Target tomorrow. Get those. Laurel got me some of those frosted. What are they?
Oh,
Mother's
goodness.
cookies.
Yeah.
Oh,
I-
yes.
Have you ever seen them?
Mother's cookies.
Yes.
I don't.
But it's these
Yeah.
ones.
Puppy love.
Yes.
love.
Oh,
And of course-
those! I love
Those
those.
are for
Those
the
are
dog.
great.
They disappeared.
They're so
They-
good.
It gave me type 4 diabetes. Everything's fine.
You know what?
It is-
I'm sure
They
it's a
look so
magical
good.
mystery why they disappeared.
I don't know. It's very mysterious.
I'm sure it's one of those UFOs that you draw.
Oh yeah.
Oh, and you got UFO underwear.
Oh, and Laurel got me UFO underwear too. Box.
Wonderful.
That's cute.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
See you next
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for joining. Yes.
time.
Anybody else who wants to? Ooh, Laura, I see you, Laura.
Yes.
There we go. That's beautiful.
That's beautiful. I
I
love the
know.
softness to it.
I was just about to say that too. I love the softness.
That's beautiful.
Thank
And I
you.
love the kind of green that you used.
It's the only green I had.
Hey,
But I
it
don't
works.
think my pastels are oil. It doesn't say oil on it. It just says
Oh.
pastel. And then they're seem to be drying my fingers out a little bit, so I'm guessing they're not
Oh.
actually oil, but
They're the chalk.
it's,
They're the
it's
chalk.
giving me a watercolor kind of vibe with the
Yeah,
softness.
you worked really well with it though. Like I feel like it's got a different look to it, but you managed to do it.
Thank
It
you.
also sort of looks like it matches your shirt that you made.
Oh
It looks kind of
yeah.
color coordinating.
Pink and blue. My set didn't come with purple. I'm a little distraught because purple's my favorite color.
Oh my goodness.
That's surprising. I'm surprised it didn't come with purple.
Well, you did great.
This
Mhm.
is
Oh,
it.
I gotcha.
Yeah,
Mhm,
Chal.
it is.
Beginner set, I
Well,
guess. I don't know.
well, you did beautifully.
You did great. And
Thanks,
David,
Laura.
I saw you. We'll bring you up next.
There you go. There you
Oh, look
are.
at that. Look at
I
your
know.
branches.
Oh,
I know. I love the texture that I'm seeing on the
The
cherry blossoms.
background.
Mm-hmm. Is that purple that I see in the
Yeah, I
corners
put in
there?
purple. I had 48 colors that I got for $9.
There you go. Oh, that's a
Man,
deal.
Yeah, I don't know
deal.
if anybody ever heard of Amazing Savings,
No,
but
That's some
this is a
amazing
set
savings,
for
though.
$8.99.
Man,
Wow.
okay. Look at you.
I think that.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it looks beautiful. You did great.
You did a great
I
job.
think I
Man,
did a decent job
you did.
for somebody who
Yeah.
never drew
Absolutely.
before. Yeah,
Yeah, the blending especially. Like I'm loving the way it looks like up in those corners where it's dark and the purple mingles with everything. It just blends so well.
thank you.
Great job.
Thanks, David.
Yeah.
Cool, guys.
Oh,
This is my favorite part. This is really,
all
oh, there we
right.
go. Oh man,
Oh,
Jamie, look how soft and
oh,
fluffy they are.
wow. Look at the
pretty.
fluffiness.
Oh, really? I think it's funny because you
Yeah.
guys were talking about what yours look like, and mine look like little cotton candies.
Oh my
Totally see
gosh.
cotton candy.
I do,
Right?
but I'm
Isn't
getting
that what
like
it looks like?
I'm
It's a
getting
cotton candy
magical
tree.
vibes. Yeah,
Yeah.
like this is Candyland.
Oh,
It's
I kind of tried to
beautiful.
use yellow in the bottom.
Yeah, I saw that. I think that works really well. Like I'm just impressed that it didn't mix too much to create green.
Oh
I'm
yeah.
loving the addition. Yeah.
It's
It
just
just
so light and
it
airy.
that's what it is. I feel like that yellow is exactly what it needed to sort of separate the other colors from the background.
Yeah, the yellow's beautiful.
Yeah.
We'll touch yellow. Oh, mwah, chef's kiss.
Mhm.
Great
Thank you. I
job.
actually really like pastels. I haven't used them in a while, but I like them a lot.
Good.
Great job.
Thank
Thanks so
you.
much, Jamie.
Marianne, you're next.
There you are.
Oh,
Look at
look at
that
that.
teal. That teal is gorgeous. I love that you use so much of it.
I like the teal. The pink.
Yeah. Like the teal, but also the texture of well, the texture of everything really. It almost looks like you use watercolor. Did you?
Nope, sure did.
Yeah, it reminds me of
Yeah.
watercolor.
Yeah, there's something about it. It's beautiful. I'm loving that texture that you use throughout the whole thing.
Well, thank you. I like it better now that I held it up to you.
Yeah, good. Good. It's beautiful. You did
It's
a great
yeah,
job.
it's beautiful. You should feel
Yeah.
very
Thank
proud of
you.
yourself.
Well, now I am. Thank you.
Great
And
job.
this was
Great
fun.
job as
I like
always.
the oil pastels. You all,
Good.
thank you so much. You have a good night.
You
Very welcome,
too.
Marianne.
All right.
see-
Anyone else?
Okay, we're done. Here you go.
Ooh, I see Sierra logging off. Good to see you, Sierra. Thanks for coming.
Well,
Oh my
there we go.
goodness.
Oh man, look at you. That
Wow.
is beautiful.
I have crayons. I just ordered the oil pastels tonight. I figured we would be using them
I was
sometime.
trying to figure out what you use because the texture on that is amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, thank
Yeah,
you.
I'm absolutely loving the sky, the background. There's something about it. Like it looks like it has depth to it.
Thank you.
Yeah, you did so good with it. And honestly, I love the way you formed the cherry blossoms around the branches. There's something about it that stands out to me.
Oh, thank you. I had fun.
Yeah,
Good.
I love when people do things with crayons because people think, oh,
Mhm.
elementary school and stuff, but that doesn't look like
Mhm.
crayon at all. You can do incredible stuff with crayon. You did such a good
Mhm.
job. Great
Thank
job.
you.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
Thank
so much.
you.
Andrea, you're next.
Beautiful.
Oh, look at
There
the
it
blue.
is. I know that texture is just gorgeous. Like I'm loving the fact that I can see the same, like very similar textures in both the background and the cherry
I
blossoms.
know.
Mm-hmm.
I love that.
There's, I know, I love like especially like the top one. I love how you form the top branch. Yep, that one right there. Like I
Thank you.
love how it wraps around the branch.
Super fun. I feel like I should like pull the brown a little bit more through the actual flowers.
Ah, like just to kind of separate it a little bit.
Well, just to sort of show the branch a little bit through the
Yeah.
petals, so to speak. I don't know. I can't decide.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe sleep on it and see what you think in the morning.
Yeah.
You did
Thank you.
great.
Thanks, Andrea.
Great job. And Emery, I'm coming. Alrighty.
There you are.
I'm away and visiting my mom and I don't have pastels. So I did it in marker.
Beautiful.
Ooh, that's a marker. Oh my God. It looks like okay, maybe it was like the texture that I was seeing. It almost looks like acrylic paint, but I'm impressed that you did that with
Little
marker.
Sharpies.
Sharpies, that is so
Yeah,
cool.
reminds me of acrylic.
Yeah.
Thank
Love the
you.
color
Wow.
layering.
Yeah, it's the texture and everything. Man, you did so
It
good.
was fun.
Great
Good.
job.
Have a good night, everyone.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Thanks, Hannah.
All right,
Man,
does
these are
anyone else want to
awesome.
share? Oh, Rachel,
I
I'm
see
coming.
Rachel. Yes.
Oh
There
my
you
gosh, how
are. Ooh,
cool.
The
Oh,
light's
this is in
man.
directly
the
behind it, so I don't know
Yeah.
if it actually looks like that. I don't know how to.
Oh, that was so cool though. Like
with the
behind.
light behind it looked like stained
Yeah.
glass.
Seriously, it was really cool. And that
Yeah,
purple, gorgeous purple.
yeah, I like the first. Sorry, I don't know. It's either too bright or too dark. So
It looks good either way. It looks great
Yeah,
either
it really
way.
does.
So
thank you, thank you. This was awesome as always. Thank you.
Cool.
awesome. Thanks
Thanks,
for
Rachel.
coming. And Barbara, I'm
Man,
coming.
there you
Oh,
are.
oh, look at the
And
white.
I love that you made it on a big piece of paper too.
Yeah, you went for
That's
it.
beautiful. It's beautiful. I love the transition from the light to the dark at the bottom. It almost looks like chalk. Was that chalk?
No, oil
No?
pastels.
Oh, that's not man. There's something about the yeah, you can tell. There's something about the blending. It's just a very soft blend. It's
It's
beautiful.
amazing how a lot of people use just oil pastels and the textures still came out very differently.
They did. Yeah.
It's always amazing to me.
And I think my favorite part is the fact that you have a lot of tiny like thin twigs sticking out, and so therefore also like the leaves sticking out. Yeah, it's really pretty that way.
Great job.
Thanks.
Yeah, thanks, Barbara.
Did I miss anybody? I don't think so, but if I did.
Um, yeah, if you haven't done so already, please fill out the after class survey. That would be amazing. Again, but it's optional, but it does help us a lot when it comes to like grants and other stuff. So, yeah, the after class survey, it should only take maybe less than 5 minutes, 2, 3 minutes.
And I do not know if we have any doggies because usually we've been liking to end this with doggies. Does anyone have any doggies? Because I know the McGinleys had to leave.
My dog is
Taking
hiding.
doggy to share.
Who has a doggy to share? Was that you, Laura?
This is Laura. I don't know if you'll be able to see him though. It's kind of dark.
Okay.
There
All
we
right,
go.
we shall
Oh,
end on you, doggy. We shall end on
oh
you.
my God. Who is this?
This is Chino.
Hello, Chino.
Oh,
We shall end on
Chino,
you,
so
doggy.
pretty. I know, so pretty.
All right, everyone, we want to give you a big thank you to joining us as always. We love you guys so much. We appreciate you as always for joining us. We'll be back next month. And if you need anything, you know where to reach us, and we will see you next time. Good night, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you.